Oh wow, I'm in the dark. I look like I'm like in
Yeah,
a cave.
you could turn the light on.
I'm gonna go turn on a light.
Okay, yeah, look, it's streaming. Yeah, it is. We got it. Okay, guys, one sec. Bear with us. Just gonna mute this. Okay, we're good.
All right.
Oh, I like it. I've just got this live stream here. See if we get any comments. What I did last time, and I noticed a few people came in because I linked the Zoom call on the live stream, so people could join from the live stream.
Oh, that's nice.
Let me just share this.
That's how I found you last time. It worked.
Oh, did you? Where did you find it? On Facebook?
On Facebook, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let me do that again then.
Facebook's good about that. It like shows up at the top of your feed.
Nice. Cool. I think that shared to my Facebook. Let me just double check. I love that. I've done so many of these now, and it's still like, oh yeah, cool. We got it. So we can just roll in, and we can carry on just going around and catching up and seeing what everyone's been up to, and then jump into some of the questions.
Yeah. So
Briesh, I want to hear more about you, man. I want to hear about Nepal and what you're doing, how you're keeping busy. I'm going to unmute you. Unmute. Briesh, are you there? Oh, we've got another. Yes. Joe, what are you doing, hello. Bro?
I'm here.
Isn't it like 4 a.m.? That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Briesh, tell me about yourself. I want to know more about you.
Hello to everyone. This is me, Briesh Frishta, and I'm from Nepal. And I'm 13 years old. I think I'm the most smallest one in this chat.
13, did you say?
I don't have much things to say.
Yes, you do. It's great to be 13.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Are you able to do your schooling at home right now? Are you doing any of your classes?
Yeah, online class. Not actually online class, but school has provided some videos to us, and we just need to learn from there.
Amazing. Are you missing your friends that you haven't been able to see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Do you have siblings at home? Brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have sister.
Do you get along with her?
I have sister. Sorry?
Are you friends?
Are you friends with your sister?
Yeah, but oftenly we fight with each other.
Yeah, classic. Same.
Joel, what time is it? Shouldn't you be asleep?
4 a.m.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I should be asleep, but my sleeping pattern is so tarnished right now. And I saw that you're all on, so I thought I'd come and say hello.
Oh, Joe, you're funny, man. That's so funny. I was like convinced we wouldn't have anyone from the UK or Europe join, but you proved me wrong.
Well, I'm here, like, in aid of the UK.
Yeah, good. You're representing. Hey, is that Zaid?
Yes, hi. How are you doing?
Where are you calling in?
In Canada, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've met you in India.
Yeah? You met me in India?
Yeah, I am from India, actually. I just moved to Canada this year, so.
Oh, wow. Oh,
you remember you and Steve were in India?
Oh, yeah. When was that? That's like 5 years ago.
That's like 2013, man.
Oh, was it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm in your vlog as well.
Oh, great to see you again, man. That's cool. Where are you calling from, Alicia? Oh, maybe your audio isn't set up yet. I'll let her set her audio
Alicia,
up.
can you hear us?
I think Alicia's audio.
Oh, she doesn't have audio, it seems, set up, yeah.
Oh, you need to enable your mic. Anyway, we'll carry on
Yeah.
chatting, but it's good to
Okay.
see you, Zaid.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
There you
we
go.
can hear you now.
Yeah.
Where are you
I'm
calling
in
in from?
Belgium. It's way too late.
What the heck? Isn't it 5 a.m. there?
I know.
Are you still awake or are you up early?
Yeah, it's 5 a.m.
But have you stayed up all night or have you woken up early? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Did you stay up all night or did you wake up early?
I stayed up all night.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the only
Yeah.
time I would see 5 a.m. as well, is if I
Yeah.
stay up till 5 a.m.
I'm just like working on like dissertation stuff, like just like uni work. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now we
Wow.
have
Well, thanks for
new
joining.
People. James and
Pleasure.
Lonnie. Hello.
Oh, we've got a couple of people that aren't on video, but right. I thought I'd launch into sparking a bit of a conversation. It's been nice to just briefly catch up, see where people are calling in from. Just as an update, we've got the US, Mexico, UK, Nepal, Canada, and Belgium. That's pretty good going. This was a bit of an experiment today, trying to do a call this different time, because normally we do it like 7.5 hours before. But yeah, today I thought we could talk about this concept of using this period as a like a cocoon, like a quarantine cocoon. And we were talking about this whole thing right now of like, during this time, do we find ourselves having a lot more free time on our hands? Obviously not everyone has, because people are still working really hard, maybe looking after kids and stuff like that. But I'd love to know, firstly, has this time in quarantine given you a lot more free time? And then also, like, what have you guys been doing? And it doesn't have to be productive. It just has to be, I'd just love to know what you're filling your time with. Any ideas? Anyone want to share?
Apparently, a lot of you have been staying up late, so
Yes.
I want to know what you guys are doing.
I'll go
Honestly,
first.
it's so boring. Yeah, you don't want to hear from me.
No, we do.
Hey, James, where are you calling in from?
I'm from the UK, and I've been following you for literally. I used to run home from school to watch your videos, and I can't quite believe that I just found this on Facebook. I was like, wait, we can just join this call? This is crazy.
Oh, awesome, man. What are you doing up, bro? Isn't it like 4 in the morning?
It's like
Basically, mentioning on, I want to stay relevant. I'm not just here to, oh my God, it's Louis.
Yeah.
The point you made was, I've been a magician for about 10 years. And last year, I was lucky enough to reach the final of Britain's Got Talent, which was really
wow.
crazy.
Congratulations.
But the thing is, I've always wanted to do more of the social stuff. Like, there's some magicians really crushing it online. And I think the quarantine, my point I'm making here is forcing me to kind of explore new areas of like what I do. So I'm currently trying to work on some little viral magic clips, like mum reacts to magic and stuff like that. So
Oh, nice. You doing that on TikTok or Instagram?
Currently on TikTok, yes. But the main platform I'm trying to go for at the minute is Facebook, but it's all good fun.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you'll have to. I'd love to see some of that.
Well, just very quickly, right?
Yeah.
Think of a playing card for me, any card you want.
All right. Should we all do this?
Just you for now. Just think of one.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
There is no possible way I could know what card you're thinking of, right?
Yeah, no possible way.
Right. And we haven't set this up, never met you before. I actually can't quite believe this is happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What is the card for the first time that you're thinking of?
The 3 of Hearts.
The 3 of Hearts.
Yeah.
Check this out. I actually had a little thought that this would happen, right? If I go into this pack, you'll notice there's one card face down, right?
Uh-huh.
And none of the other cards are face down.
Right.
And you said the 3 of Hearts.
Yeah.
That's
Whoa.
crazy.
How is that possible? That's
You know,
that's
it's currently
great.
5 to 4 in the morning. I'm just on video call with Louis.
Can you please reveal your trick?
That's so good. That is so good, James. I love that.
Thank you very
Yeah, I'd
much.
love to see more. I'd love to see more of your stuff, man. You've got some mad skills there.
I would, yeah. I mean, if I can, maybe I can email my Instagram so I can manage it just so you can look or something.
We'll
Yeah,
share
yeah,
a
totally.
Telegram group when we're done with the call, and
Cool.
all the new faces here, please join us in the Telegram group. And we have show and tell Thursdays every 2 weeks where people share their skills, their Instagrams, their pages, and we can all
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
sick.
new talent.
Yeah. Jacob, where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Atlanta, Georgia.
Nice.
Hey.
Cool.
Then we've
Well,
got
welcome to the
Lolly
call.
and Hawk, which I'd love to know where you guys are from.
I feel like they're not on the call. Are they? Are they just watching?
I think so. Hawk, can you hear us? Hawksia? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing.
I can only see the video participants, which are 9 of us.
All right. Okay.
It says there's 2 non-video participants. Anyway, so yeah, I'd love for people to keep going around. Like, what have you been doing with your time during the quarantine? Do you feel like you've had a lot of free time? I feel like I've had a lot of free time. What about you, Cecile?
Yeah, so pre-COVID-19, I was working as a corporate travel agent. So obviously the travel industry is no longer. I was traveling full time. I was in Colombia and things started shutting down. So I flew back to Mexico and then lost my job. And so now I have so much free time. But thankfully, I mean, I started a YouTube channel when I was 12 and I have videos from the past year that I've been meaning to edit. And it's just, you know, life gets crazy and editing takes time. So thankfully, I've used a lot of that time to edit lots of videos. I've been teaching yoga classes to my housemates. I have like 5 housemates.
Sick.
And I've been streaming them online. So getting everyone in the spirit. And then I've also been learning Spanish. So taking Spanish classes 3 times a week. Just like all the things that I've been putting off and haven't had time for, I've been like using this time for. And it's been really awesome. I've always wanted a break. So now I have one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So one of the, just to lead on from that first question, I'll give you guys the opportunity to answer, but so there's been a lot of these posts online about like productivity and like, if you don't come out of this quarantine with either a new skill or starting something that you've been putting off this whole time, it's like, or more knowledge. And then there's always like, you didn't ever lack the time, you just lacked the discipline. Right, that's like, these are the kind of posts you've been seeing flying around. Yeah. I just wondered how people feel about that. Is your natural inclination to be super productive, or is this a time when you just need to like relax and think about your mental health and just to like survive almost? Do people have, I'd love to just hear people how people feel about that extra pressure of, you know, even for me, I've kind of been back and forth with it.
I think the reactions have been different, like internationally, due to the way the government have responded to those particular people. Like currently in the UK, most like 90% of people who are employed have been furloughed, so they still have an income. But there's a few people that are really, really upset because they're like self-employed, or there's a few different sorts of self-employed people that don't actually have an income, so they're a bit tired of. I actually read an article the other day. They're really tired of hearing the what they're calling the coronavirus motivators. But for me, I'm enjoying reading that kind of content because it's just pushing me. Like, fair enough, we're all lucky to be in the position we are if we can just sit here now and relax and go through this time and just ride the wave. But I guess for some people that don't have the income, I watched some stuff on TV about America as well. Some of those are some Americans really suffering. I guess it depends if you're suffering or not, the way you'll accept this content that's being pushed out. You know, oh, you should have a side hustle by the time you leave. You should have 5,000 subscribers and all this. But I guess it all depends.
I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet.
What about you, Jacob? How have you been feeling? Do you find this is a time to be productive, or are you just trying to like survive?
So I'm kind of like in this unique position where I'm in my last year of college. So I graduate in May. But last semester, I was in a motorcycle accident. So I had to
Wow.
take the whole semester off
Wow.
from pretty much Thanksgiving up until the 1st of February. I was in a wheelchair. And so like
Wow.
I went straight from finally getting out of a wheelchair and like being able to walk into quarantine. And so I was like, this sucks, right? Like I can't do anything. But
Wow.
I think like it's been a time to finish up all of my classes and get them knocked out. And like we've been fortunate at my college where once we finally transitioned to online classes, like my unique situation, I was already transitioned into online classes because I was able to work from from the hospital.
Yeah.
But I know tons of my peers weren't able to complete their capstone projects and stuff. So, you know, we all have these presentations to do and we're giving them, and yet there's nothing. I mean, I'm sure you guys will see the governor of my own state, Governor Kemp, is constantly fighting quarantine. I mean, he's been making a point to open up the state as soon as he can. And I understand some of it, but I think one of the things that's frustrating to see is that there's this lack of acknowledgement. I know one of the guys mentioned like people who are on disability and stuff who are furloughed getting paid. As soon as Kemp opens up our state again, anyone who's home on disability now no longer will be able to receive it, even if they want to stay home because it's serious, right? Like people are getting sick. So it's very interesting to be like in this place where all of the intellectuals agree we should be staying home, quarantining, taking time to learn things, better ourselves. And yet in America, a lot of our governing bodies are just concerned about how the economy can restart again, not the health of people.
Yeah, crazy time. It's a crazy time. What about you, Alicia? Are you feeling productive during this time?
I'm surviving with the uni workload
Yeah.
because like yeah, it's my final year as well at uni. Actually, I study in the UK, so I had to rush back home, but it's not amazing because obviously we had strikes actually before COVID-19. So I actually was kind of quarantined beforehand and separated from everybody else. And like having to rush back home and not knowing when, you know, what's next, will I have a job or anything else, or how will I graduate has been a bit tough. But you know, I try to like bake and do other things like that. So maybe I'm gonna be a professional baker at the end of this quarantine. Who knows? But it's good because you know I can get to eat my food when I study, so it's not bad.
I'm going to put a little sign there because this is really interesting. We were probably going to do a challenge in the Telegram group for a bake-off because I saw a lot of people like baking.
Oh my God, sign me up. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to share the link at the end of this chat, and I want anybody who enjoys baking, and even those who don't enjoy baking, try it. I want you guys to join, and you'll have to bake something, and then if you can drop it off at a neighbor's house or at somebody's house.
Oh, wow, Joel, that looks great.
Joel, okay, but I can't give you
hungry.
extra points yet. Okay, you have to wait until everybody bakes.
I'm
Yeah.
obsessed. I'm obsessed with these cookies right now. They are vegan oat chocolate chip cookies that from
so
Whole
good.
Foods.
Stop, guys.
I should probably get into baking because I love cookies so much. They're one of my
You're making me
pleasures.
hungry
I honestly,
now.
I make cookies in a week.
Zay, do you bake?
I don't really bake. I cook actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. It's chicken.
Oh my
Nice.
guys, this is yummy. We have to do a big dinner all together.
In Indian food actually. Louis.
I
good.
love curry. I mean, I'm vegan now, so I wouldn't eat the chicken curry, but bro,
Oh,
curry
yeah.
is the one.
How's the
Chana masala.
I could cook cottage cheese for you.
Actually, I'm not doing cheese either, but the
Oh, yeah.
chickpeas, bro.
Just forget. I will forget.
Have you found this time productive for you?
I'm mostly spending my time sleeping a lot because I won't be able to get this much free time ever again. So
Yeah, I like it.
everyone's have different take on that. So that's my take actually, and it's
And
just
do you-
11 right now, and I've just done with
Do
my
you
friends.
enjoy sleeping? Do you enjoy sleeping, or do you feel guilty about it, or like?
No guilt at all.
Nice, man.
Because I'm a morning person actually, so every day I've been waking up at 5:30 in the morning,
Wow.
right? So now it's just a different thing. Now I go to sleep at 7, 8 in the morning. So I just sleep all day long. I stay up all night long. That's how it's been.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I'm glad you don't feel guilt. I think that's a big conversation in itself as well. Like following on from this idea of like productivity versus just staying sane and looking after your kind of mental health. Like, do people feel triggered at all when they see these like motivational things that are like pushing us to be more productive and write a book and start a new hobby and all that? Or are people just, I'd just love to know how people feel about it, because there's a lot of it online.
I think like from what I've seen, like it's not like the whole being productive thing. Don't think it's that big in the UK. I'm not too sure, but I know I've seen some things around like a lot of people are doing like productive things, and I mean, like for me especially, I've been finding it really difficult. I mean, I've been in quarantine now for 5 weeks,
Mm.
and you know, because I'm a vulnerable person, and like I have underlying health problems, but you know, I am still going out and I'm still going to the shops when I feel like I need to. But you know, the whole being productive thing does really like draw that energy and mental, physically on me personally as well, because like I know like today, or at least the last couple of days, I've just been feeling like, you know, no one seems to be watching my videos, and I'm like, you know, I posted one today at like 5 o'clock, and it only got 15 views in like the first hour. And you know, I'm trying to be productive on that point, but then, you know, when you try and really hard to make that sort of thing work, and then it just, it just sort of puts you down quite a lot.
I think it also depends, like these so-called corona motivators or whatever we want to call them. I think it depends how authentic their message is, because some of them, I've seen a few of them, they're basically just trying to sell you their shortcut to success on a course, and their message is so fake. Whereas others, they're like, you can tell, like I've always seen in your content, Lou, your message always comes from a good place, and like I think that like the message to be productive, be motivated, be successful in quarantine is fantastic if it's delivered properly, if you know what I mean. Some people, they're a bit too in your face, they're a bit too, I don't know, the way they do it can come across as a bit.
I think of a couple of people, but I won't name names.
There's a lot of them in the UK.
Jason, where are you calling in from?
I am from France, actually.
Hey, bonjour.
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 But I am originally from Morocco.
Salam alaikum.
Oh my gosh, my favorite.
This is Sophia, isn't that you as well?
Yeah, I'm French Moroccan. So
well, nice to meet you.
I see you. Yes.
Tell me, Justin, how have you been? Have you been coping well? Have you been busy? Have you had a lot of free time? What's going on?
I'm actually in university, so I have a lot of exams during this week and the next couple of weeks in May. So it's kind of keeping me busy, since we have to give back work with our teachers, and they're coping well with this situation, even though it's not easy. I know there's many students that live in small apartments and are away from their families, which is my case as well. But I'm happy to be living and having good health right now. And
definitely,
honestly, all of this, I can always think positive, because we couldn't we couldn't be thankful about the things that we used to do like a daily basis, go out, go to a restaurant, go meet with our friends. And during this moment where we're locked down, we appreciate these values. And now a person doesn't want a Ferrari, doesn't want the new Rolls Royce. He just want to go out and see the world again. That's
Yeah.
what we want. And yeah, it's pretty much like this right now during these moments.
That's actually a really good point. It doesn't, like, money has completely like come out of the equation for so many people. Like, I watched a video the other day. He's quite a big, he used to be a really big singer in the UK called Peter Andre. You'll probably know him, Louis.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, and it was just so strange because he was filming this video. His daughter was like having a Mardi because she wanted to go to the supermarket. And, you know, in all his videos, you can see his huge house, all the cars, the women, everything. But then all of a sudden, he can't get like the milk he wants in a supermarket. And the same applies to literally everyone. And it's just, it's one of those moments that really hits you. You're like, it's like when there's a death in the family, all of a sudden the family starts speaking, everyone's friendly. It's like such a big moment that has to come and hit you in the face, almost like a calling or something. It just kind of bang. You need to realize this.
It's like a shared it's like a shared trauma. I know like the word trauma gets thrown around a lot, but like on some level I think it's probably more traumatic for certain people, but like it is something that we're sharing together, is this global incident. And we, like you were saying, Justin, like the gratitude for the small things it's been amazing for me.
Has gone higher every day. I want, because I live near the beach, so I have a beach view in front of my house. And
where in France do you live?
In Sète. It's actually at the end of France. It's between Montpellier and the big city we can know is Perpignan.
Yeah.
Between these two cities. So I'm actually at the south of France. France. So we have a beach. So we're literally, we have good weather now, since we had 4 days of rain. So yeah, and we can it's been raining, but yeah, it's good when it rains. But I have like a beach view, so I always want to say like someday I'm gonna be there. There's hope. There's hope.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we just need to be hopeful during these times and help out, because I know in my building there's an old lady that lives downstairs. She is unable to go out due to her medical conditions. So I'm helping out the community by just doing her like groceries that she can't do because she's afraid for her health. So the little things mean a lot during these times, and it's good to help out right at this moment.
It is amazing, actually, all the communities all over the world that have come together. I mean, you've only got to read the news. There's some literally amazing stories about, you know, we've currently got in London, all over London, they've got this thing called the Visor Army, where they're delivering like protection equipment to hospitals all over the UK that are not getting it funded for God knows what reason. We'll never know.
Yeah, because the government can't be bothered to accept phone calls.
What's that, Joe?
The government are just like not like acknowledging the people that are offering PPE that are making them here in the UK, and now they're offering other countries to give them to them because the UK government won't accept them.
I think what happens in these situations often, and I've been infuriated, is some of these old systems that are in place and have been in place for decades, if not like centuries. It's like they tend to not allow fast response to things, right? So if you've got like a system built in with so much red tape and bureaucracy that you can't actually get things done quickly, that's like the last thing you need right now during like a pandemic where you just need really, really fast response to things. So yeah. I'm one of the things that I'm really hopeful for, like coming out of this, is that we redesign the systems to operate at speed, so we can adapt and change a lot quicker. So like you said, like if they're not, I'm sure there's not someone there being like, no, we shouldn't accept the masks, we need them. But you know, it's just it's probably just the fact that it's probably just the fact that the systems are broken, like the systems are old and flawed. And I'd love to, I feel so much hope that this is highlighting the failures of the systems that we currently run on.
That's a
And
really good way of looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we're speaking, in Morocco, if you leave your house without a mask, you either get a night in prison, and if you do it again, you have a month in prison.
No way.
It's
Yeah, they're super
obligated.
strict.
It's obligated to put a mask. And from the last thing I heard from my family, they told me that one person of the entire family has an authorization to leave the house. He has an official paper signed by
Wow.
not the government. It's like the head of the in each place
Like
in
a city
each city.
hall.
Yeah, it's like a city hall. There's a person that goes through the houses, sees the persons, and he gives a paper, and he needs to check an ID, and he writes the name of the person, and it's the only person that can leave the house, go do the groceries, come back home. And if the person leaves without a mask, I think you got first warning. It's I think a ticket. The second time you get a nighttime in jail, and the third time you get a month of jail.
Yeah, that would not roll in America. Like,
no, I know.
People are so protective of their liberty and freedom.
If anyone tried to do that here in America, like the militias, every redneck with a gun would genuinely come to their rescue. Like they would.
I think that's a good thing. Actually.
That wouldn't happen in the UK either.
I think the problem in the UK at the moment, right? Like in February, I was at a convention, right, and there was thousands and thousands of people there, and it just mind blowing how the space like I was at this convention 2 weeks later, and there was a few people there wearing a mask, and they were kind of getting like laughed at and jeered at because Corona wasn't a serious subject at that time. It was a bit of a joke, really. And now I think it would be kind of useful if the masks were put into force, because people wouldn't feel nervous or different about going to the supermarket or like, I don't know, going for their daily exercise in a mask. I think if everyone was made to wear a mask, people would feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, things just changed here in Mexico this week, and they are threatening jail time, but I don't know. It's like, will that actually happen is the question, because, you know, with talking with the police officers, they're kind of like, yeah, we really don't have anywhere to bring anyone. But
they would run out of space quickly.
But they are threatening that.
Isn't it interesting that Morocco and Mexico and other places are like going to that extreme of actually enforcing martial law and like arrests? And then you've got, Jacob, like you said, your state is about to reopen. And I mean, that's mad. Like, those are the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Of course. Like Morocco doesn't have like in between. You do it or you don't. If you don't do it, you get consequences. If you do it, we'll leave you alone.
It's so true.
Louis, you need to come back to London and run for Prime Minister. This is just not working.
If Louis was Prime Minister, it would be so chill. You don't even understand.
You know, who I always thought would make a great Prime Minister was Russell Brand.
Actually, I agree. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, though, is he a socialist or is he not?
I don't think he's politically affiliated. I think he's just very like love and light. You know, I don't think he really
laissez-faire.
I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep now with the thought of Louis Cole running the UK.
I tell you, I would be terrible. I would be terrible.
I have had thoughts about running for MP for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met Jeremy Corbyn like twice.
Legend.
Oh, I feel sorry for you.
What?
Are you not a Corbyn fan? I think Jeremy rubs some people up the wrong way, but I love his vision for. He seems compassionate. As a politician,
his passion. He's so passionate about what he believes in.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to chat again. I'd love to chat again about just like during this time, just to draw it back to the topic of the video, which would, I mean, it's fine that we're going off topic and having a conversation, but I'd love just to talk around this idea of like what we're spending our time doing right now, because in one way, like, we don't know how much longer this is going to last. I think, when did I read somewhere they just extended the quarantine in a lot of places, whereas it was going to open up at the end of the month, and now they've added like another month on top. Seeing as we're most likely going to be in lockdown the next month, at least, right?
Definitely.
What do people want to be doing over the next month? If you're currently relaxing a lot and spending a lot of time just surviving, do you think that's going to be the next month of your life? Or do you have any goals or things that you want to start achieving? How important do you think that is for people to have to be productive? And what does productive mean to you?
I think what you said about how long will it last kind of thing, like a lot of businesses are adapting. So like, for example, me, just a few months ago, my main source of income was going to weddings, parties and events doing magic. And obviously you can't do that now. We're not even allowed in a group. And then some of the entertainers now are adapting. They're doing like online Zoom shows. They're moving over to different places. But I think it's also important to remember, like you said, we have no idea how this is going to run on for. You've got to be able to adapt for that amount of time, but also, like, let's say, I don't know, they say next week, right, you're all free. You've got to be ready to like go. Like, I'm going to need at least a week to reset my sleep clock, my sleep pattern. But
Me too.
I also think, we've got this time on our hands. You're never going to get this time again. So, maybe a little bit of relaxing is fine here and there. Take the occasional day off, as you would if you were working. Do you know what I mean? Most people don't work 7 days a week. I think it's important not to be, I know there's Gary Vee would say, sleeps for pussies or whatever, but I think, get a balance like you would in normality, and then we're all good.
I really agree on the balance thing. I think like the one guiding light for me in all of this is I've been prioritizing my mental health. And so whether that means I wake up in the morning and I do not feel inspired and I want to watch Netflix all day and just not, then I do that. And if I want to bake and make something or do something creative, I do that. And if I'm feeling super inspired and I drank too much coffee and I'm like, oh my God, I have so much I could do, then I do that. And so it's like, honestly, like I'm very lucky that my body and my like brain just sort of tells me what I'm feeling like. Like I'm very clear with what my emotions are.
That's such a great way of looking at it. Like there's no point feeling pressurized all the time. Like the other day, I woke up the other day and I decided that I would watch the entire, when Louis and Sam Pepper went on the UK road trip, because that was one of my like favorite series. I watched the whole thing in a day. I was like, do you know what? Sorry, I'm gonna do it.
Wow, throwback.
Anyway, so I just think like prioritizing your mental health and doing what you honestly, like I've been trying to check in with myself and be like, what do I really feel like doing right now? Like what is my body craving? Like what is going to make me feel so happy? And that can be many different things, but thankfully I have the time and I have the resources to choose. And there's nothing that I physically have to do. So what do you create within that space is the question.
So here's a question following on from that. Here's a question which is kind of cool. Sorry, I'll let you answer in a sec, Joel. But the way you described it, it's almost as if right now, although we don't have physical freedom to leave, we almost have more permission and freedom and less obligation to be doing anything right now, which in a way is kind of exciting that we have more control over our day-to-day right now than maybe before.
Yeah. I think it's just your resources that obviously your resources are restricted, but that is an interesting way of looking at it. When you wake up in the morning, like it's almost like everyone becomes financially free in their own little way. They can just, okay, today I'm going to watch YouTube. The next day I'm going to grind out some emails and do some admin or whatever your life is. Your days are free pretty much to do what the hell you want, which is sick.
Yeah.
Also keeping in mind that like us having this conversation are very lucky to have the privilege of that free time. Yeah. And like, I think that's something that's been really making me feel so grateful
Mm.
is just that, like, you know what, I don't have to worry. I have savings, like I have the potential of maybe getting unemployment, like I'm gonna survive. I have a support system, but not everyone else does. And so I've also been trying to use this time to reach out and see how I can, you know, try to support people that aren't as privileged as I am.
I
Definitely.
agree with the whole like mental health thing, because I mean personally I've been really struggling with like my mental health, and like up until the lockdown I was doing quite well, and you know I've gone through some struggles over the last few years with like living with housemates and stuff like that, and I was just starting to get my confidence and getting my mojo back, and you know going out and exploring, you know, and you know getting inspired by loads of people, especially Louis. And like you have inspired me so many times to make videos, and like more recently it's just like every day is like, oh, what do I do now? Like it generally just feels like I'm watching Groundhog Day.
I think
You know,
maybe
you know
it
the
would be
film.
good to have some form of loose, like routine. Like obviously, there's not a schedule. Like I don't know, I don't know
I
what
mean,
you do.
I'm
But let's say,
autistic as well, so I find it difficult to like when I get out of a routine. It's like it'll take me a week or two to get back into one.
yeah, that's what I've tried to do. I've tried to make no. I tried to. I used to set like I used to have a big to-do list when I was running all my events and stuff, and sometimes that to-do list would get on top of me. So I decided not to write to-do lists anymore, because I would look at it and go, oh my God, there's so much to do. I've got to do this social media advert. I've got to do this Facebook advert and all this stuff. But now I wake up like during this lockdown and I think, right, I want to get a few things done today, and then I can vary it up. So I'll watch this video here, or I'll go for this walk here. But as long as I pinpoint a few things I want to get done, I've got not like a rota or a schedule, but a rough guidance for the day to try and get through it and keep my mind active.
You know what I love? Do you know what I love, right? It's this feeling of we are more present right now than it feels like we have been in a long time, because we've only really got today, right? Like we don't know what's happening. We don't really know what's happening. Like when are we ever going to know what's happening in the future again? We just don't know right now. And because there's so much uncertainty with tomorrow or next week or next month, it's pushed me to enjoy the simple pleasures and the simple little things I'm doing in my day to day. And I don't think about tomorrow really. So maybe that's another great thing that's kind of happened from this. And I understand again, totally agree with you, Cecile, and like we are incredibly privileged to even have that perspective right now. And a lot of people are panicking about the future. They're panicking about tomorrow. They don't know where their next paycheck's coming from. So I agree that not everyone feels like this, but for people that have got a bit more security right now, it's kind of an amazing time.
I know what you mean. Like I worry about like, you know, my future as well, and like I am sort of worried about potentially getting the virus because it could be bad, but we don't know. But yeah, I am still doing the things that I like doing, like going to the shop and stuff, because that just helps. I know it might sound weird, but it still helps my mental well-being.
Oh, definitely getting out and doing something. Even leaving the house now is like even just leaving the house for 5 minutes, you feel like, oh my word, I've actually, you know, it frees your mind a bit.
I find myself getting dressed up to go to the mercado and go to the supermarket, and like they're playing music. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm dancing. It's just like the amount of joy I get from the
Just don't go
smallest
down the
thing.
alcoholic aisle. Just don't go down the alcoholic aisle.
Oh no, I do not drink, so
that's all
I
right,
don't see that happening. But yeah, no, I mean, thankfully I'm in Mexico where they play cumbia and salsa in the mercado. So
I love it. I love it.
I have a question that Louis, you were saying earlier with that, you know, that quote that came out about like, oh, if you're not doing a skill and things like that. And I think it kind of blew up on the internet. I don't know if you guys saw, a lot of people were posting back like that this is ridiculous, like let people live and let them be couch potatoes. But I was wondering, do you guys feel in general when you see content online that doesn't align with the behavior that you're having, does it trigger anything? Do you feel pressure? Do you feel a little bit like out of like, or do you feel, or are you secure in your decisions, and are you able to navigate through content in a way where it doesn't influence you to feel something specific?
That is a really good point, actually, and it links on a little bit to what I said earlier. It's quite like, I think some of the messages aren't being delivered in a good way. Like, there's so many influencers now on Instagram that are posting, you know, chilling in quarantine or whatever, and they're there in their jacuzzi or whatever, and then for other people they won't have that privilege. But it can be a bit overpowering sometimes, but it also can motivate you, especially if you've got a particular niche. Like if you're in the travel niche, or I don't know, literally whatever your niche is, if you see your competitors like adapting and changing and building and growing during this time, it can fire you up to, you know, think, right, I'm not just going to sit here every day. I'm going to actually try and make something of this time, and look back and think, yeah, that time was a good gift, or productive, or relaxing, or whatever you want it to be.
Yeah,
I think it
feel like it's
depends.
not.
Oh, sorry. No, I want to hear what you have to say, Alicia.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like it's not just influencers, but people in general. I feel like it's also easy to sometimes just compare yourself and forget that, you know, social media isn't just real life, and people sometimes will post the best of it. And for example, with me having to work on so many things, I tend to like be comparing myself and being like, oh, they're doing this and I'm just doing that, and like it's annoying. But so I took a step back, and I go on social media every now and then, so it's easy to feel down about it, but at the same time I feel like you have to take a step back and just see the positive side of it. And I feel like also there have been some positive things about social media. People have been more real in a way, like talking to people, reaching out. I've seen it being better than usual, so I don't know if it's just me.
I think it's amazing, actually. Like one of the I attend some like businessy events and seminars and stuff, and one of the guys who runs it has been posting on Instagram about how his business is struggling and stuff. And I think that's just such a good, obviously it's not good for him, but it's such an authentic thing to post, you know, look guys, I'm struggling, and I'm not going to deny it. And that kind of, in a way, motivates people as well to believe, oh, okay, I'm not the only one in this boat. Everyone's going through this. Like Louis said earlier, we're all fighting the same kind of battle, so to speak, together, but most of us don't see it as a battle. We're just, you know, choosing what we do with our time.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have to go, but thank you for this conversation, guys, and thank you, Louis, because my dissertation is actually inspired by your Beyond Borders movie, which
cool.
I sponsored when I was younger. I'm not old, but I did. And actually,
it's still coming, by the way. A lot of people have been asking. It's ready, but there's this long story to why we haven't released it yet. But
we're ready, Louis. We need some lockdown viewing.
Ready.
I know, man. I know.
It's just weird to know that I've grown up, and like time has flown, and then now that I'm writing something about cross-cultural differences, and like because of it, so life is just crazy, and I'm talking to you. So hey, motivation done.
Well, thanks for joining this conversation.
And Alicia, before you leave, I'm sending now the Telegram link into the conversation. Please join, because I'm serious about the baking challenge. I want to see everybody's baking skills.
And we also announced these live streams, so you'll have a bit more notice. And I like this idea of doing a dance, a live dance Zoom call.
Oh, Louis.
Yeah. Oh, that looks good. What's that?
It's a veggie chili.
Veggie chili, love it.
Yeah, we really need to dive into the food stuff, because I think we're all on the same page on that one.
Here's a question. So whether it's just off the back of what we were saying, whether it's like whatever our hobbies are, whether it's baking or music or dance or whatever, any creativity, I've found that instead of feeling a sense of comparison when I've seen people doing stuff, because I feel like people are creating a lot, just because in this time there's a lot of creativity that's kind of flourishing, because people have more time in their hands. Even the people that are suffering more right now, I imagine this is an amazing catalyst for creativity creativity. So I've seen a lot of the musicians that I follow, even small musicians and producers, like making a lot more music. One of my favorite musicians, Tom Mish, has been posting these little clips on
It
Instagram of
runs
him
through me.
just jamming on his guitar and stuff. And for me, like, that's actually super inspired me. Like, he's not saying be productive, practice the guitar, you need to learn the guitar. He's just purely sharing his creativity, and that's inspiring me to be like, oh, I should pick up the guitar again and start practicing and learning. And that's really inspired me. Is there anything that you guys, have any of you guys been watching anything online that's inspired you to be more creative?
Yes. For
What,
me,
Justin?
yes, because to give context, I'm doing cinematic studies here in France. So I'm studying all about cinema, and I had a conversation with my head teacher, and he said what I was doing during the time. I said I was right. I said I've been honestly looking on Instagram, watching TikToks, and I created just a small script, a funny script, just about TikToks, and I've been doing this, and I've been liking it, and honestly, and I finished by saying I can't wait 1 year later to see all the movies that are gonna come out that have been written during this time.
Well, do you know, just quickly before, I know others have got stuff to share, but during the Great Depression at the beginning of last century, out of that, and this is what I heard, is the whole of the Hollywood industry came out of the Great Depression. So I so agree. Like, we're going to see the most amazing creative stuff written during this time.
Yeah, I can't wait for the movies.
I've been watching a lot of YouTube because that's just something I enjoy doing. And there's like plenty of like people that generally do inspire me, you being one of them, Louis.
Thanks, man.
And I'm not just saying that because you're on camera, but like, you've always, like, all you YouTubers have generally always inspired me to make videos. And like, especially now, it's like sometimes I just feel like, oh, I might give up. Like, it doesn't feel like I should carry on.
Well, let me just say something, Joel. I think every YouTuber's fallen into this pattern of feeling like they need to play the game and get the views, and it's all about chasing the numbers and getting the views right. But really, before you start getting too wrapped up in that, like you said, oh, I only had 15 views, like, I would just find something that you like, find something that you love and are passionate about sharing, and and that will be like, even if 5 people are watching and they're impacted, like, I think we live in a society where we're forced that, like, to believe that popularity and our value is brought by how many followers we have on something. And honestly, that's just a dark path to go down. And like, I've seen so many friends, I've been so many friends that are like, have got millions of followers that are really deeply miserable because they've been trying to find their value from keeping playing the game, and then the views drop, and instead of 1 million views they get 500,000 views or 100,000, or, you know, it's all relative, right? So I would just say, like, try and shift where you're finding your value, and just think about like what brings you personally joy, and pursue that. And
so, like,
don't worry, man,
about something, your hunger is so much. And like, I was reading an article the other day, and it was like about kids that are depressed about their TikTok views and stuff, which is just taking over the world. And just a quick point for you, like, I know obviously there are huge TikTokers, but let's say you get 12 views, right? You said you got 15 views. How would you feel if 15 individual people were stood in front of you, listening to your message and listening to what you do or whatever it is you say? Like, it's actually quite a big number of people. And like, if you're passionate about what you do, like, I've been doing the whole magic thing since I was 4 years old, and it took me 3 years, hundreds of meetings, thousands of pounds to get onto Britain's Got Talent. But because I had that passion, I just never gave up. And I think,
well, I've been like drumming since I was like 11, and like drumming's been one of my main passions. And like with you in the magic thing, like I think it was like 2 years ago. I did grade 8 here in the UK. But like, you know,
Yeah.
I've done gigs and I played in front of people. Like I think the most I played in about 300 people.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome,
that-
man. I'm just aware of time. Sorry to cut you off,
Yeah.
Joel. We're gonna end the call in about 10 minutes. I just wanted to hear a little bit more from like Jacob and Justin and Syed. Like I know we've been kind of dominating the conversation a bit, but yeah, I'd love just any of your final thoughts or just things you've noticed during this time, and also that question I asked earlier about like what's been inspiring you.
So I'll start actually.
Yeah.
I moved to this country like 4 months ago, I think. So the moment I've landed over here, I've just been going on, you know, waking up early in the morning, just starting the grind, you know, getting things sorted, getting the place, you know, where I can live and all of that things, you know, what I'm about to do, what I'm going to do, what are my plans, you know, because moving to a new country is a really big thing, right? I mean, you're all alone. I didn't know anyone. Nothing was happening over here. At the start, you know, I was a lot depressed because the moment I landed, the first night I was like, just want to go home, just want to go back.
Wow.
So it was really scary. So since I've been doing that since like, you know, the last 4 months, so for me, this time has, you know, slowed me down, even when I did not want it to, you know. I mean, I wanted to keep on going till I'm, you know, well settled. But unfortunately this happened, and you know, like right now I'm sitting over here, and if I think back to it, it looks like I needed that, you know. So that's why I know it does not make me feel guilty for sleeping all day, you know. Just, I mean, all night the kitchen's all by myself, like no one's, you know, disturbing me over there, so I can do whatever I want. I can cook, I can. The only bad thing that's happening to me, I think, is I've been drinking a lot of coffee than I should. That's the only bad thing I think that's happening.
Same,
And
bro.
about
The king of coffee, Louis.
I'm just really jealous of you wearing a vest right now because it's like freezing over here.
Oh yeah, like LA's like had a heat wave today. It's amazing.
Today was so hot, guys. You don't understand. It's like scorching hot.
Heat wave as well.
It's supposed to be
Yeah,
summers. I
UK
think it's
heat wave.
-1 over here.
Gonna
Right
be
now.
fun lockdown.
Oh wow.
Jacob, what's it like in Atlanta right now?
It's today it's been super stormy, so we've had to deal with like a bunch of really bad weather and some tornadoes for the past couple of days. So it's just been rainy, but it's been pretty moderate outside, like 60 Fahrenheit or so. So it's not too bad.
Okay. Did you have any thoughts about the about Louis' last question? It's just, we're trying to get everybody's opinion about. Yeah.
So I think like you know, in a way, a portion of my quarantine began months ago, right? And it's something that in times like this, I think a lot on another YouTuber, not to just constantly name people who do that as a profession. Casey Neistat said about working a job you don't like. He said that like it's when you work a job you hate for a while that you take this time to think about what it is that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, reevaluate.
And I think for a lot of people, that's what quarantine has been, right? And it kind of is just by the virtue of it. And like for myself, it's been a lot of time to self-reflect on as I'm about to graduate in just a few weeks now and start working full time. Like how is my own future going to be playing out the way I want it to be, and having time to myself to really sit and reflect on that and really think like, am I setting myself up once all of the quarantine is over to be headed down the path that I want? And like, I definitely think that not being able to do anything else really other than just think about what it is you want to do kind of helps narrow my focus on what it is that I want to do with my own career and my own life.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
thanks
good.
for sharing. That's true.
Thank you.
Very insightful.
Well,
I'll let Louis wrap it up on questions.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could. I mean, I love these chats. Honestly, I feel like we could just keep chatting for hours. But
and thank you so much for hosting this call, Lou. I just randomly scrolled on this on Facebook and I was like, wait, is this real or is this a recording or something?
Before we jump off, just check in the chat on this Zoom call. You can join and anyone actually watching on the live stream, but I don't think we've got that many people watching right now. But if you're watching it back, join the Telegram group, and we're trying to build a bit more of an intimate community where we could just chat a lot more together, check in with each other during the day. ask each other for any support or help we need, and just it's been a really cool place. It's been a really good place for building community.
Was this, just a really quick question, I'm just really sorry to interrupt, was this recorded?
This is, yeah, so basically this is going to stay live on the Facebook and YouTube channel of the Social Good Club.
Oh, fantastic. So it would be okay to like chop out that little trick I did?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
That was amazing, by the way, James. Thank you. That was great. That was like, I mean, I believe in that for a long time.
I've got a few friends that do magic, and I've seen that trick once before, but I have no idea how you did it. Like a lot of magic tricks, I can kind of figure out, oh, it's sleight of hand, blah, blah, blah. That one, I just am baffled by. It's like genuinely, like I have no idea. So yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
I've never actually experienced magic ever. This is my first time, so I'm quite.
Just, thank you so much.
Nice.
Before we go, Louis, I just want to show you this.
Well,
I don't know if you can see or not. Can you see who's that?
Oh, is that the vlog? Is that the vlog?
That's Steve.
Steve, yes, bro. I need to catch up with Steve. I haven't done a video catch up call with him yet. I've chatted to all my other friends.
You should have invited him over here.
Are you going to be doing that big stream that Alfie Days was going to set up?
Yeah, we
is
should
that
do
going to be
something.
happening?
I don't know yet. I'll keep you posted with any other stuff that's happening. Anyway, like I said, we could carry on chatting all night. I'm gonna end the call now, but yeah, stay in touch on the Telegram group, and we will be setting up one of these at least every week. And I'd love you guys to join in the next one as well. And I really appreciate your input to this conversation. Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for making it happen.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Guys.
Nice to meet every single one of you.
Likewise.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
You too.
Bye.